Dog owners could pay up to $3 million or face up to 15 years in prison if their dog attacks, injures and/or causes the death of a person. The related issues were debated in Parliament on Tuesday as members looked at the Dogs Liability for Attacks Act 2020. Simone Absalom reports.
The Dogs Liability for Attacks Act 2020 provides for criminal and civil liability for an owner of a dog that attacks, injures, or causes the death of a person. It notes that a dog must be fitted with restraint to be kept under control. The legislation seeks to make the owner responsible for preventing his or her dog from biting or presenting a menace to any individual. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck led the debate.
Nowadays, we see far too many dogs in the public space, running up and down on the street, chasing persons who are going about their normal business. And, Madam Speaker, it's just not right.
The legislation also notes that the owner of a dog has a duty to ensure that at all times while the dog is in a public place, the dog is kept under control and that the dog is fitted with a muzzle that prevents the dog from biting any individual. The bill proposes fines ranging from $500,000 to $3 million or imprisonment of 6 months to 15 years. There is also provision for instances when the animal will have to be killed. Member of Parliament Mark Golding says the legislation is necessary but shared some concerns.
Criminal liability is quite a different thing. And I feel that to impose criminal liability on an owner when somebody is not hurt or injured, I think goes too far. That's my own view on the matter. An individual who is attacked by a dog who has witnessed such an attack may report the attack to a constable. And remember, and then subsection 2 there says that the constable who receives that report has to investigate it, and if the investigation determines that the individual was attacked but did not result in injury, and that the owner of the dog had not previously been warned, then the constable can issue a warning. And of course, if that warning has been issued and the dog subsequently attacks someone, even if it doesn't injure someone, criminal liability flows under Section 6 and Section 8. The point I want to make in relation to 10, Minister, is that there's no reference to the location in which the attack takes place in Clause 10. In 6, in both 6, which is dealing with criminal liability, and 5, which is dealing with civil liability, liability, whether civil or criminal, only arises where the attack or injury takes place other than the premises or part thereof where the dog is kept or permitted to live or remain.
His concerns were rebutted.
The bill, I find, is a perfect balance between the rights of dog owners as well as that of aggrieved persons. While it addresses the rights of dog owners, it gives controls, duties, liabilities, and subsequently penalties. An aggrieved person is not without recourse, and this is aptly contained in sections 5 and 6. What was my main concern, especially as I consider it to be one of our rural realities, was the omission of livestock. I note that the minister has, by way of amendment, now included this.
In his response, Minister Chuck says he'll be taking the concerns into consideration.
And the truth of it, member from South West Clarendon, the Dog Liability Act of 1877, which is now being repealed, has always been there. But with that civil liability, look what has happened. It has not been a deterrent. And if the civil liability is not a deterrent to all the damage and injuries that dogs have caused in this country, it is the people of this country are asking what should be done to stop the rampage that so many dogs engage in across Jamaica. And I say, Madam Speaker, This act is meant to send a signal to dog owners. There's not only civil liability if dogs injure innocent bystanders, because, let me put it, if the bystander or the pedestrian provoke the dogs, it could be a good defense. So we're talking about innocent bystanders or pedestrians where the dogs attack them through no fault of theirs. The bill is a quasi-criminal bill in most cases. Somewhat like traffic offenses, it's a regulatory bill to be a strong deterrent and to encourage dog owners to ensure that they keep and maintain their dogs in their private property.
The Justice Minister closed the debate with the aim of adding further amendments to the bill. For the news on PBCJ, I'm Simone Absalom.